If I give you 2 points, you should be able to come up with an equation of a line, and you should also be able to draw it. And I always draw it anyway, just because I want to check my work. I want to get like another understanding of the problem. Okay, so we have the 2 points. We have x1, y1, and we have x2, y2, right? Slope-intercept, which is going to have this format. So how do I do that? Okay, so remember that we have 2 mystery boxes. And once we figure out what goes in those mystery boxes, we basically have the equation. So what are the mystery boxes? Well, the first one is the slope. And the second one is the y-intercept. That's where the line intersects with the y-axis. So this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. Okay, so here we unfortunately don't have either one, so we have to figure it out. Okay, so first let's figure out the slope. So that would be, the formula is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, so we take the y coordinates, so -3 minus, and then we subtract, and because it's a negative, we put it in parentheses, the other y coordinates. So always subtract the y from the y, and then in the same order, the x from the x is on the bottom. So on the bottom, I'm going to get 0, subtract 4. Okay, so the y subtracted on the top, the x subtracted on the bottom. Okay, so what do I get? Now, -3 minus -2, that's really a +2. So -3 plus 2, that would be -1. And the bottom is -4. And so the two negatives cancel out, and looks like my slope is 1/4. So I think I figured out one of the mystery numbers, and that is the 1/4 that goes in the first one. Okay, but I still have to figure out the other one. Well, the thing is, in this example, it's actually pretty easy to see that the y-intercept is -3, because that's when x equals 0. But let's pretend I don't know that, and let's pretend I'm just gonna go ahead and compute it using my formula. So it's y1 minus slope times x1. And just to make it harder, I'm gonna take that first point instead of taking the second. That one's gonna be actually easier. But let me just check and pretend I didn't see that. So it's gonna be y1, which is -2, right? So I'm gonna put -2, subtract slope. Okay, slope is 1/4. Multiply that by x1. What was x1? 4. And it's time to, I think, come up with what this is using a calculator. -2 subtract, now let's put this in parentheses, 1/4, and then another set of parentheses for the 4, and so I get -3. Yay me. Okay, so I knew that was -3, but just so you know, you can check it out. Okay, so that's my second mystery number. So the slope is 1/4, and that goes in the first mystery box. So that was 1/4. Okay, and the second mystery box is the intercept, and that one is -3. So I'm pretty much done, except instead of doing a plus -3, I can just put -3, because a negative is the same as subtracting. And so this is my answer, 1/4 x minus 3. Now, I always tell you, let's go ahead and see if we can graph it and make sense out of it. Okay, so well, we got 2 points, 4, -2, so that's easy. It's easier to graph the thing. So I got 4, -2, and I got 0, -3. So there it is. Okay, and let me draw a line through those 2 points, and let's see if that whatever I found makes sense, right? And I'm trying to get this to make some sense here. Okay, so first of all, I think the slope is 1/4. How do I know that? Well, the slope is rise over run. So let's try to make that little triangle here. So what is this point again? That one was 0, -3, and then the other one was 4, -2. And so this is my triangle, and slope is rise over run, right? Rise over run, and rise is 1 and run is 4, so that's 1/4. Boom, I know that that's right. Now the y-intercept, I can already see that that's -3, right? But if you didn't know that, you can start with 4, -2. So start right there. And then 1 over 4. So it's rise over run. So I start over here. I go 4 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 up. And I'm going to wind up right here. So once I get these 2 points, I can just join them, right? So either way, I verify this third point looks like that's exactly where it's supposed to be. So I'm all good.